Please apologize that I'm not capable of speaking enough French to talk to you in this language, so I switched to English, and I would like to speak about the two pieces that I have performed tonight in this concert. I start with the second, which is a rendering of a very famous harpsichord piece of Johann Sebastian Bach called the Gold.Berg Variations, which has a certain relationship to Canada. As some of you might know, that there was a very important pianist named Katelyn Clark who dedicated his life to this music, and he made a wonderful recording. And I was addressed nearly 10 years ago by friends of mine who had a string trio in Vienna, and they were playing a sort of string trio transcription of the Goldberg Variations, which was inspired by the Katelyn Clark recording. It was done by Russian violinist Sikovetsky, and they asked me whether I would be willing or interested to add some electronics to this performance of the string trio version. And my first reaction was that I was really shocked about this, as I thought, stupid idea of adding some electronics to a saint like Johann Sebastian Bach. At least for me, it is a saint. I said, no, it's impossible, I can't do that. But after sleeping a night over that, I came to another conclusion, and I said to myself, it's an interesting challenge. And I was thinking about not touching the music of Bach, but making a sort of electronic sound world which not contradicts, but serves as a sort of counterpoint to the music of Bach. So my idea was to have groups of variations played by the string trio, and in between those groups of instrumental music, I inserted electronic renderings of the music of Johann Sebastian Bach from this piece. And as a starting point, I took the aria, that is the formal cell of this piece, as a reference point. As some of you might know, these variations of Johann Sebastian Bach was written for a student of him. His name was Goldberg, and he served as a cembalo player, as a harpsichord player in the court of Count Kaiserling. And this poor guy, he was suffering of insomnia, so he couldn't sleep. And whenever this happened at night, he was asking for his slave, Goldberg, to come and play on the harpsichord for him. And this is a fairy tale. I'm not sure whether it's really true, but there is this story told by Vogel, the first biographer of Bach, that Bach was writing this music for this count. And as you all know, if you cannot sleep at night, you do something very repetitive, like counting sheep. And the same thing happens in this music of Bach. So there is one piece of music which is called the aria. This is a sort of model consisting of 32 measures, and this is repeated all over and over the piece. There are 30 variations on this aria, on this basic model, and in these variations Bach used all techniques that were possible in this time. Everything counterpointal, artistic, taking forms of suites and dance music, everything that was available at this time, Bach took as a model and made interpretations out of that. And I tried to make a similar thing with the electronics. So the first thing I did was taking this aria, which is a very ornamented, flourishing type of music, which is based on a Baroque dance, the sarabande. And I was making a sort of harmonic reduction where I took out all the ornaments, all the figures, and came up with a very beautiful, very simple three-part counterpoint, which forms the harmonic basis of this music. And I made a recording of this reduction for string trio, which I use as the source material for my live electronics. I don't want to speak too much about the electronics rendering what I'm doing, but I just want to tell you about that everything you hear is not being played from a CD or something that is preserved, but it's done in real-time live, and it reacts on the space, on the situation. So for each of the 5 pieces that I have composed, I have the possibility as an interpreter to play them very differently for each performance. So, and I'm also in a situation where I'm trying to force myself into a situation where I develop at the moment as a composer, improviser, a new type of music out of this material that I have. So this is, everything is a little risk that I have, but as we say, no risk, no fun.